Hi, in this video, we're going to talk about RIP version 2 and disabling automatic summarization. Okay, so RIP, both version 1 and version 2, do something called automatic summarization. Let's take a look. So over on R1 here, we have two subnets or 2/24 networks that it wants to advertise to R2, 172.30.1.0/24 and 172.30.2.0. Well, what actually happens in RIP, it actually does automatic summarization on a classful network boundary. What does that mean? Well, in the old days, both 172.30.1.0 and 2.0 belong to the Class B network 172.30.00/16. So RIP would just automatically summarize these because it's going over a 209 network, not another 172.30 network, but does automatic summarization. So it actually summarized both of these two /24s as a /16. And actually would include, RIP version 2 would include the /16 subnet mask. Well, if we look over here, R3 is doing the same thing. It has four interfaces that all belong to different 172.30 subnets. And it's going to cross a different classful network boundary, another 209 network. So it's going to summarize these as a 172.30.00. And also will send, RIP version 2 sends a subnet mask /16. Okay, so let's take a look at R2. Okay, what does R2, what do you expect it to see? Well, it just received two summary routes, and they were the same summary routes for both. So from R2's perspective, it now has two equal cause paths to the same network, 172.30.00/16. So it just sees a summary that it received, the same network and address and subnet mask or prefix and prefix length, 172.30.00/16, from both R1 and R3. So is this going to cause a problem? Yes. So some potential problems here. What happens if it's trying to send a packet to 172.30.1.0/24? Well, R2 sees it as two equal cause paths, okay? One via R1, one via R2. So depending upon how the switching is done, whether it's process switching, fast switching, or Ceph, has the potential for either one packet going one way for this destination, another packet going this way, which is obviously not there, and another packet going there, etc. And cause all kinds of problems because the device at this end is only going to receive every other packet. And if we're running TCP here, think about that. It's going to only acknowledge every other packet, but for all the packets that are not received, which is also every other packet, it's going to have to send a request, say, hey, I need that, the acknowledgement can be, I got packet 1, but I didn't get packet 2. And the guy says, okay, I got packet 2 and 3, but I didn't get packet, or I got packet 2 and 3, but now I didn't get packet 4. So anyway, long story short here, we're going to have problems. No matter what kind of switching method it is, and we're going to get unexpected results. So this is definitely a problem. This is actually one of the reasons why we don't use RIP version 1 anymore, because it didn't support what we call discontiguous networks, having different subnets of, in this case, the Class B network 172.30 in multiple locations. All right, but we're talking RIP version 2. It is a classless routing protocol. We can solve this because the network address is sent with the subnet mask. So let's take a look at how we can solve this problem. What we need to do is we need R1 and R2 not to summarize. We need it to send the actual network addresses and their subnet masks. Okay. So R2 has all this information. And also R2 can then pass the information that it receives from R3, pass this on to R1, and also the network and the network addresses and subnet masks it receives from R1, pass that on to R3. All right, so let's take a look at how to do this. Very simple. Oh, well, first, if I do show IP protocols, it does show that automatic summarization is in effect, which is the default on RIP version 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and disable automatic summarization. Very simple. We just say no auto summary. And we're going to do that on all 3 routers. Okay. Now, if I do show IP protocols, it tells me that automatic network summarization is not in effect. Well, let's see the results of that on the routing table. So now R2, what do we expect to see now? Well, this is good news. We now, instead of seeing just the summary for 172.30 coming from R1 and R3, look at this. We see all the individual network addresses and their subnet masks, because RIP version 2 sends both. Classless routing protocol. All right, so that's really good news. About R1, yeah, so this is also good news. R1 not only sees R3's 10.0 networks down here. Here's the 10.1, but it sees we'll not worry about this static route that was redistributed. But what's important here in this discussion here, it's seeing all these subnets. Okay, via RIP, and here they are here. Ah, really good stuff. Okay, so just to make sure that we're fully converged here, we see R3 sees all, R1's subnets, the specific networks and their subnet masks. So now we are fully converged. All right, a little extra here. If you do debug IP RIP, this will show you the updates actually being sent and received. Be sure to do undebug IP RIP or undebug all when you're done looking at this, because debugs can actually be very process intensive, and if you're not careful, you can actually bring down your router if it's trying to do too much debugging. All right, so what we're looking at here, by the way, is in the routes that it's receiving both a network address and a subnet mask, and along with the number of hops to get there. Okay, via R2. So R2 is saying, oh, this is R2, excuse me. So we're looking at these are coming from R3, and R3 saying it's 1 hop to get there for me, via me. Okay, so we can see that. That's kind of nice. See the prefix and prefix lengths being sent and the metric. Okay, also in the debug IP RIP statement, it shows us a couple of things here. First of all, it shows that these updates are sent as a multicast. This is a reserved multicast address or well-known multicast address for RIP version 2. RIP version 1 sends its updates, routing updates, as a broadcast. So this is one of the advantages of RIP version 2, because multicasts in general take up less bandwidth and require less processing. Because multicasts only are processed by only the devices that are enabled to receive that multicast traffic. Okay, so that's a little bit on disabling automatic summarization and RIP on RIP version 2.